Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this special seminar on using Carta. So Carta is a two-column page framework skin. And by page framework, what I mean is that all of its content is contained inside of what appears to be a page. All right, so I'm just going to zoom out on this here for a second so you can get the big picture here. Right? This is the page and this is the rest of the site, and everything is contained inside of that page. We can, on the other hand, look at agility, and agility is a full width framework. And again, if we zoom out, agility is specifically designed to have these things that stretch all the way across. And in fact, some of them, even though they're white, and you can't tell that they stretch all the way across. They stretch from edge of browser window to edge of browser window. And each of those elements has a page element contained inside of it, but it has these HTML elements that stretch all the way across the page. Whereas Carta does not have any elements that stretch all the way across the page. All of the HTML elements are contained inside this one page. Okay? That's what I mean by a page width framework. If you're familiar with Thesis in the old days, then you're familiar with making the choice between the full width framework and the page width framework in the HTML settings. That's essentially the analogy of these things. Now, Carta has 6 different template options. And in fact, I'd like to draw your attention to the cheat sheets over here on the Carta download page. There's a CSS design options cheat sheet, a skin content cheat sheet, an HTML layout cheat sheet. We're going to be taking a look at those things now. But the first default template is let's see, which one are we at? Yeah, this is the right one. The first default template is the front page template. And the front page template consists of this header area, a top nav menu, and then a feature box, a full width content area, 3 featured page boxes or attention boxes, and then a top footer with 4 widget areas and a bottom footer with the attribution. Okay, that is the typical front page template. Now, the typical page template has 2 columns. Again, it's got the header and the menu exactly the same, and the footer and the bottom footer exactly the same as it was on the front page. But it does not have a feature box, and it doesn't have those attention boxes at the bottom. But what it does have is a 2-column content area. And maybe this is a better way to see the 2-column content area. So you've got your main content sitting here in the left column, and then you've got a sidebar on the right side. And this is really the fundamental layout scheme of the site, is this 2-column layout with content column on the left and this on the right. You can see that then, for example, the blog page. All right, the blog page is the same 2-column layout. It's got the same header menu configuration, same footer configuration. And then what it does is display the blog posts in a format where you've got the title at the top with some meta information, the featured image, which is a thumbnail version of the image, sitting inside of a frame with a little bit of drop shadow effect there at the bottom. The excerpt of the post, and then below that is the link to take you to the full post, and then a link showing you the number of contents or comments. And that is the typical blog page layout. The archive page layout is essentially identical to that, except that it has this little archive title up there. And the archive title in this case is Cafe Events, but it displays the posts in exactly the same way. And then if you look on a single post page, it takes the large featured image and again wraps it in a frame and puts a little corner shadow in there. And then it has the full content. comes down to a link that would take you to the next post, and then the comment section, and then of course the footer is exactly the same. We have one other template. So this is the single template, the archive template, as you can see here, the home template, which is that one, the page template, which is what we just looked at here, the front page template, and then the last template we have is a custom template called the full width template, and it is essentially a template that is like the front page in that the content is full width. However, it doesn't have a feature box area, and it doesn't have the attention box area. So something that should be apparent to you at the moment is that all of the templates are identical with respect to the header, the menu, and the footer. And the things that vary from template to template are the arrangement of the content area, whether it's full width or 2 columns, and then whether you're seeing the whole content and that kind of stuff. So those are the 6 primary templates in Carta, and you can see those templates laid out in a great deal of detail in these cheat sheets. So for example, here's the front page template, home template, single template, no sidebars template, and actually I think it shows up in this one as well, because the HTML cheat sheet shows you where each of the boxes go with respect to the template. So you can see the page template, of course, is the typical condition, and so you can see all of the different components and how they work together to form the page. And so you will probably find this to be useful in understanding how the templates work. In any case, that's what we have. Now, Carta has some very specific size assumptions. Carta is developed around essentially the widths of an HD video. So it is primarily designed around a 2-column layout where the main content column is half the width of an HD video, which is 640 pixels wide. HD video is 1280. So half of that is 640, and a quarter of that is 320. And so our typical columns are 640 and 320. Now, if you want to try and figure out page dimensions, this will help you figure out, what those page dimensions are. The inside dimension is the dimension that actually can contain content. So, the full width is 998 pixels wide. That's how wide the column is, the full width column. The 3/4 width column is 764 pixels wide. A 2/3 width column is 600. Well, I'm sorry, this is in the header. The header has slightly different sizes than sort of the typical page. I should just do the typical page. The typical page full width content is 1,000 pixels wide. And then the content column is 640, the sidebar column is 320. And the attention boxes are each 320. If you chose, 4 widgets is the way it's created right now, and those widget columns are each 237. But if you switch to 3 widgets, it'd be 320, or 2 widgets would be 500 each. And so anyway, this will help you, I think, if you want to know how big stuff should be. This is going to help you understand how big things are. Okay,